As America's classrooms become more inclusive and more diverse, we need to be looking at diverse teaching styles. For the kinesthetic tactile child who comes to early start programs, they have a tough time. They want to move, they want to touch. And with our current visual approaches, these children are often left behind. Even though they may have IQs equitable or above, they are more visual learning peers. They have a tough time because they are kinesthetic tactile. If teachers in the early years would learn to use movement as a teaching tool rather than as a threat that has to be conquered and eliminated, many of these kinesthetic tactile learners would be much better served in our early start programs. Beginning the day with lots of movement and activity only makes sense. It allows that child to do three things: oxygenate his brain, reduce serotonin level, and also get rid of some of that pent-up, stored-up energy that they so often have. So beginning the day with lots of movement and music makes good sense in all early start programs.
Monday, Monday, I really like Monday. Monday, first day of the school week. Tuesday, Tuesday, I really like Tuesday. Tuesday, second day of the school week. Wednesday, Wednesday, I really like Wednesday. Wednesday, the first day of the school week. Thursday, Thursday, I really like Thursday. Thursday, the fourth day of the school week. Friday, Friday, I really like Friday. Friday, the first day of the school week. Then comes Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Sunday. And that makes a week.
The months come and go.
January, February, March, April, May. June, July, August are coming your way. September, October, November, and December comes the year to start over again. February, March, April, May. June, July, and August are coming your way. September, October, November, and then December comes the year to start over again.
Lesson 18. Skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Round in a circle, round and round. Round in a circle, round and round. Round in a circle, round and round. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Touch your toes and reach to the sky. Touch your toes and reach to the sky. Touch your toes and reach to the sky. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Flap your wings and fly like a bird. Flap your wings and fly like a bird. Flap your wings and fly like a bird. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Paint with a paintbrush. Paint with a paintbrush. Paint with a paintbrush. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Lulu, skip to Maloo. Skip to Maloo, Maloo. Bang your drum with a boom, boom, boom. Bang my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Skip to my Lulu, my Lulu. Come to the middle, all join hands. Come to the middle, all join hands. Come to the middle, all join hands. Skip to my Lulu, my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Lulu, skip to my Lulu. Skip to my Lulu, my Lulu.
During the morning opening activities, it also makes sense to do something that's very reassuring and kind for children. Those children who come in with lots of problems, when you do a kind cooperative lesson, first thing in the morning, it's going to help them feel part of the group, and it's going to make them feel much more self-assured as they begin their day. An example of this kind of activity would be the little song called Friends.
Everybody needs friends, someone to tell your troubles to cheer you up when you're feeling blue. Friends, would you like to be friends? Would you like to share a day with me? We can be anything we want to be. We all need each other. That's what friends are for. So if you see someone without a smile, give them one of your friends. There's nothing better than friends. I hope someday I can say that your friends are my friends too.
Almost all of these morning activities, if you notice, involve crossing midline. Crossing midline is taking your hands and arms and going across the center of the body, and also taking your feet and going across the center of the body. That is called crossing midline. Children today do not crawl like they did in years past. Crawling is the first crossing midline activity that allows children to transcend both hemispheres of their brain. It leads to better readers and better students when children can cross midline. It's this simple. If you cannot cross midline grossly, when it comes time to read, and you come to the center of the page. If you are unable to cross midline, you will go back to the beginning of that page, and there lies the beginnings of dyslexia. So crossing midline in all early start programs is absolutely essential. One of the activities that I use every day is the crossing midline rug. And children will now demonstrate how we use this rug to cross midline every morning.
Across the bridge, come on, take a turn and go across the bridge, across the bridge, across the bridge. But don't fall in the water, go across the bridge. All right, everybody, walk across the bridge. Across the bridge, come on and take a turn and go across the bridge, across the bridge, across the bridge. But don't fall in the water, go across the bridge. Walk sideways across the bridge, left foot first.
In the initial stages of phonemic awareness and teaching phonics to young children, it makes sense to use music. Music will activate both hemispheres of the brain and will lead to better retention of skills. Also, when children are in the bathtub, in the car, playing at home, they will be constantly singing the song that you have taught them. So every year I introduce beginning phonics using music.